Please remember to subscribe to the channel. Thanks. So today in training, what we did is we had 6 against 3, but then you had another 1, 2, 3, 4 players on the outside. So the outside players, we eventually made 1 touch. Everybody else was 2 touch in here. If a red player won the ball, they had to play it to a yellow or play it straight back to red. They would run back to their side. This is actually a position specific. So if this was the goalkeeper, this would be our center back, 1, 2, 3, 4 center mids, and you have a striker here. This represents, you could say that's a winger, or you could say that's an extra part of the back 3. And these players are here just to help keep the ball. So we'll call this a little position specific, but it's up to your interpretation on that. So let's look on how this looked in training today. So you could see the 3 red players pressing this blue. Actually, this probably wasn't quite at the point where we were doing 1 touch on the outside. We switched it to 1 touch on the outside. See, eventually, we could scale down the numbers in this exercise as well, where there's obviously more touches on the ball and so forth. But this was actually the very first thing that we did in training today. So we didn't want as much of a work rate, so we added extra players in this so we didn't have to have as much as a work rate. And when it came down to our second exercise, that really started to open it up into medium area possession with a lot more work rate than what you're seeing here. But again, this is very good. Small spaces, finding solutions in small spaces. If the ball goes out of bounds, it's automatically transferred to the other side, and the kids come back into positionally whereabouts that they should be according to how we set them up. And again, all kinds of modifications. If you want to make it 1 touch on the inside, 2 touch on the steal, 1 touch on the inside and outside, you can increase the difficulty of this game as much as you want it to increase the difficulty. So there you go. That was how we started our training session today. And again, you could scale down these numbers. You could I wouldn't scale the numbers up, but all kinds of conditions and restrictions you could put on this. And again, it was the first exercise of the day where we did not want them to cover as much ground.